Hi, I'm Mike Ebert. I am the Director of Property Management here at Austin Landmark Property Services. Today's video is about converting your short-term rental into a long-term rental and partnering with a property manager like myself to make that happen. So let's talk about that process. First of all, a short-term rental in Austin, Texas is defined as 30 days or less. If you fall in that category, the city is going to require that you obtain a permit for this, which is hard to get, and they're going to require that you register with them and allow them to provide the oversight. So they can inspect your rental, they can look at your documents, and they require a percentage of your gross rents as part of that registration. Because of increasing oversight and increasing registration, in addition to the larger, heavier workload involved in handling a short-term rental, I am seeing more people calling me asking how they can convert their short-term into a long-term. I recently just made that happen in South Austin for a rental we rented for $2,700 a month in just a couple weeks' time. So let's talk about that whole process. The first thing I need to do is identify any property code items. Unfortunately, I typically identify several property code items at my first visit to a property that used to be a short-term rental. So first of all, the keys are supposed to be changed by law between each occupant that's renting a property. Typically, I do not see that happening. Obviously, we need to comply with all state laws if we're going to do this for any long period of time. So that's one of the first things I catch, is that the keys have not been changed in between tenants. Also, I find issues concerning keyless deadbolt locking devices on all the exterior doors, door viewers on all the exterior doors, and other things that most people don't know about, such as the step height requirements. A lot of times I see steps that are too high, or exterior stairs that don't have rails. That's a safety issue. So I help owners identify those things as well. What's really common is most people don't know about the somewhat recent law in the city of Austin specifically that requires carbon monoxide alarms to be installed when certain criteria are met. And I'm happy to discuss those criteria with you. They involve natural fuel burning appliances and or attached garages. So there's a lot of property code items we need to identify if we're going to go into this for the long term. The next thing we identify is furnishings. Almost all the properties that I see that have been short term are furnished. So we have to make a plan about donating the furnishings, having an estate sale and selling the furnishings to prospective tenants. What's the plan? In one of my most recent cases, we actually made a plan with a contractor to have all those items moved out before the new tenant moved in and put into storage. So you have options there. You need to talk to your property manager about what your options are. In most cases, when the furnishings are in place, we market the property as furnishings negotiable, and 9 out of 10 times the incoming tenants do not take any of the furnishings. So you need to know what kind of market you're in and what the demand is for furnished and unfurnished properties. Additionally, a lot of times we see the rent come down for a long-term rental. Typical short-term rental, you're going to be getting hotel rates or even more depending on the features of the home. And no matter how awesome the house is, it's just not the same market. So you should expect less. In my opinion, it's worth it for the longevity and the stability of the home and the stability of those finances. So those are some of the things, those are the main points of the process that you'll see when you're converting the property. You need to identify property code items, which frankly you should identify even if you're going to stay in the short-term market. You need to identify what you're going to do with the furnishings and what the market is like with or without furnishings. And you also need to identify what market you're going to be in for that rental price and if that's going to work for you as an investor. So I hope this video is useful to you and you can use these points in your own life. If you have any questions, I invite you to call or email me. Thank you.